Okay, so now let's talk about the number group, which is the next one here on the Home tab. In the number group, we have the ability to go in and essentially what kind of format do we want a number to have. The first box up here shows us that we've got some shortcuts to get to a variety of different items here. And we also have, here we've got accounting format, percentage, and comma. And you'll notice here that in this particular spreadsheet, I've gone ahead and said, use these shortcut buttons to give you a hint. So here on it where it says accounting number format, we're going to go in and we're going to right here, you can see under accounting, you can do English, dollars, you can do English pound, you can do the euro, the Chinese yuan. There are different accounting formats you can do. You could actually pull it out and look at all of the different accounting formats, and there's a lot of different symbols, a lot of different symbols, as you can see. So we can do that. But we're going to, in this one, we're just going to use the standard US dollars. And when I do that, it puts a dollar sign over here on the left, automatically puts my comma separator in, and gives me 2 decimal places. That's kind of standard for our accounting format. For the percent style, which is this button here, if our number is written in decimal form, in order to change that, if you remember, you multiply it by 100 and put a percent sign at the end. Well, Excel can do that for you. So if we look at this one, it can go ahead and make that, in this instance, it says 9%. But if we were to increase those decimal points, you'd actually see that it actually gives you the full amount. Okay. In this one, where it says comma style, we can come in, and when we put the comma in, it will automatically put our comma separator in and give us that, looks a lot like the accounting style, but doesn't have the dollar sign. Okay. Now we can use, this one said use the 3 shortcut buttons. Now we're going to use our drop-down menu and make this 35 a number. And come in here, and you can see it gave us 2 decimal places. Here where it says currency, we're going to come down and make that currency. Now currency looks different than the accounting format. The accounting format automatically puts the dollar sign on the far left of the cell and the number on the right. In this instance, currency keeps all of that together in one grouping. Okay. And you can see the difference here in that accounting number format. And I can do that there or in the drop-down either place. Short date shows us a short date format. And we come in, we can say short date, and it'll actually put that in the # format. For long date, we're going to come in and we'll put long date, and it'll tell us what day that actually is. Okay, and for fractions, we can take a decimal and change those to a fraction. Okay, something I want to tell you about the date function is in Excel, what we have is a date function is actually a number. So if we were to look at today's date, which is, let me just do it this way. I'll go ahead and do the today function for you and show you what that is. So I'm recording this on February 7th. Okay, so here we see that. But if I wanted to, I could take that number and I can convert that to a text string. And you'll notice that it shows that the number is 44,234. Number 1 is going to be January 1st of 1900. And so Microsoft Excel looks at all date formats as numbers. So you can put any number in, for instance, 2769, which is the same date. Actually, I think I put the wrong thing there. 27 of 2029, I actually want that to be 1969. Okay. And then if we change that to a number, you can see that it's showing us that it's a different number. You could do numbers in the future and look at what those numbers might be. Let's look at February 7th of 2035. Okay. Oops. I shouldn't have that equals there. February 7th of 2035. And we could show it as a text number. And you can see that it's about 5,000 more than where we're at right now. So, and I could do calculations on these and go in and subtract, multiply, divide. And that's the reason that Microsoft Excel does it the way that they do, is they actually just go in and are getting rid of the slashes and other ways of keeping that date. And by storing it as a number, it allows us to do calculations with it. Okay. All right. What I did there was I actually highlighted that and I used the delete key on my keyboard. It's important to recognize that when you use the delete key on your keyboard, you're not actually deleting cells. Okay. You can see right here, to delete a cell, it'll actually ask you to shift the cells around. But what delete on your keyboard actually is right here. It's actually just a clear all formats, the contents, that clears the contents of the cell. You can see that right there that it shows that that's the DEL key on your keyboard. So it just clears contents. It doesn't actually clear the cell itself. All right, now let's do it. This one says we want to do these with the dialog box in the number group. So for this one, we're going to do currency euro. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull out that currency right here. And you can see here where we say symbol, and I'm going to make that a euro. Now sometimes it takes a little bit for you to find kind of where they're located and finding, kind of which symbol you want to do. Here you can see we're into the pounds. Let me see if I can find that euro. You can see here here's different euros that we can use, and we're going to use the standard euro. And that's going to be right here where it says euro, and euro typically goes before the number. Okay, and so change that, and now that's a euro, and that puts the euro symbol in for us. Now it says number with 1,000 separator. We can also do that in the dialog box. Here's our number, and right here there's a checkbox that lets us use that 1,000 separator. Here we have a counting. It says no symbol with 0 decimals. So I can come in here and do a counting. Oops, I need to be doing that with the dialog box. Sorry about that. A counting. We're going to do 0 decimals and no symbol. So no symbol would be none. Okay, so you can still do that. Where it says special, down here under special, we have a variety of, you can do zip codes, phone numbers, and social security numbers. This one is supposed to be a phone number, so we're going to make it have a particular layout for phone numbers. This one is a special social security number, and so you can come in and do a social security number. Here we can do increase and decrease of decimal places using our increase and decrease indent, or we can come in and do it here with our decimal places here. So increase to 4, 3, 4. I could also, like I said, do that with my buttons here. And here you can do decrease to 0 decimals. And right here where it says decimals, you can actually, I'm just going to highlight, and I can type 0 rather than using the up-down arrow buttons. And then this one says decrease it to 2 decimal places, and we'll come in and I'll show you we can just decrease that to 2. So different ways of using the dialog box. Okay, let's go ahead and talk now about the styles group. The styles group here really, it lets us do different styles, and I'm going to go ahead and move this over just a little, and it says apply the title cell style to the range A1 through F1. Okay, actually I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so all of those directions fit into the screen here. Okay, so apply that title style to the range A1 through F1. So A1 through F1, and you can see here we have a cell styles. And you've got lots of different options here. And this one says apply the title style. So we did that. And it says now apply heading 1 to A2 through F2. So I'll highlight A2 through F2. And in this one, we're going to do a heading 1. Okay. Now it says we're going to do some conditional formatting. What conditional formatting does for us is it lets us go in and apply formatting to when a particular condition exists. If this condition exists, do this to it. And that's kind of what conditional means, is that it has a particular condition. It says apply conditional formatting to values greater than 20 in the precipitation column. Okay, so I'm going to highlight the values I want to do. I do want to warn you not to highlight the entire column. And you can highlight the entire column by clicking above it where that black arrow is. And the reason for that is because if you do that with conditional formatting, it really makes your files quite large. You can also highlight rows using that black arrow, but I do recommend that you just, when you're doing conditional formatting, just go in and highlight just the items that you're needing to do. we're going to come up to conditional formatting, and you'll see that when we do that, it says highlight cells rules. We can do greater than, less than, between, so we have quite a few different ones. And that's the one we want to use here because it says it wants it to anything that is greater than 20. So I'm going to go ahead and type 20 there, and you can see now the numbers that are greater than 20 are now highlighted. Okay. The next one here says apply conditional formatting to the years between 2010 and 2013 and use a green fill. The other one, oh, I should have used a light green fill on that last one. Let me undo that. I didn't read the instructions fully. We'll come in here, conditional formatting, greater than 20, and do a light green fill. And you can see here, you can just pull this down and pick the one you want. We don't see a light green fill in there. You can custom format. And on the fill tab, you could do light green. Okay? And you can see there that that's a way you can do those. Okay, now we're going to apply conditional formatting to the years between 2010 and 2013. Green fill with dark green text. Okay, so let's go ahead and highlight that year, and we'll come up and we're going to do a between this time. So but anything that is between 2010 and 2013, and we're going to do green fill with dark green text. And you can see that those years are now highlighted the way we asked them to be. Apply conditional formatting to the top 5% of the values in the snowfall column. Okay, so now we come in here, and it's going to basically look at our data, go across it, and say what's the top 5%. And so this is going to be top rules. You can see here I don't have a top 5%. I have a top 10%. But when I open the dialog box, I'm allowed to change that percentage. Okay, so there's top 5%. And it doesn't give me a particular color or anything, so we'll just let it be this light red fill. Now it says apply conditional formatting to the bottom 3 items in the low temperature column. So you can come in here, and when it says bottom 3, the bottom 10 items, I'm going to actually instead do the bottom 3. There's 3 items. Those are the 3 lowest numbers, and we can say OK. We can also do something called data bars and icon sets in our conditional formatting. And so for the high temperature range, we're going to come in and we're going to do what's called a data bar. And what the data bars do is they let us, here's gradient red. What it does is it looks at the number and compares it to the other numbers in the field. So in this instance, our largest number here is 111, so it's taking up the entire cell. Whereas our smallest number, 98, only goes over not quite all the way. So it lets you see as a gradient what we want those to be. You can also do the same thing with icon sets. And so let's look at icon sets. And I'll go ahead and put that icon set in, and then we'll edit it. Icon sets do the same thing. You can see here we've got traffic lights, rimmed and unrimmed. You can see different items that we can do. I'm just going to do this one here, which is just the basic traffic light. Okay, and you can see that our lowest numbers are in red and our high number is in green, and kind of our middle number here is 20 is in yellow. Now we can do a couple of things with that in place. If I have the exact same area highlighted, under conditional formatting, I can actually manage the rule and edit it. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to edit that rule. And what you can see is now I can come in and it says I can reverse my icon order. Now it's going to be red when the value is high instead of green. And it says set red to a number greater than or equal to 25. So it says when the value is greater than or equal to the value of 25. But notice right here where it says type, it says percent. We need to make that actually the actual number. So when that number, and sometimes it goes over, so when that number is greater than or equal to 25, it says set yellow to be greater than or equal to 10. Okay. And now we don't have what we would have for for green. And the reason for that is because for green, it's just all of the other numbers. Okay. And we could say here green, it says, less than 10. So when we click on it, you saw that it says less than 10. Okay. Now I'm going to apply that, and you'll see that my icon colors now follow that new rule that we just put in. You could also delete rules. Let me show you how to delete the rule. If you go in and you can click, you can actually just click anywhere in a given rule and say conditional formatting, and where it says manage rules, you can come in and you can delete a rule. Okay, and we'll apply that, and it deleted the entire rule from that area. So you can go in and delete rules just as easily as you put them in. So conditional formatting is a really neat feature. Okay, I'll go ahead now. We're going to go over to where it says cells group, and we'll go ahead and show you a little bit about that. You see here we've got some books and things. I'm going to make it a little smaller so we can see our directions. It says set the row height of rows 4 through 103 to 25. So I'm going to highlight my row by starting by holding my left mouse down here on row 4, and I'm going to go all the way down to row 103. Okay, and I'm going to stop at the bottom of row 103. So now I have row 4 through 103 highlighted, and it says set the row height to 25. Okay, here in this cells group, I can say format, row height, and set that to 25. Now everything's readable. I can also right click to get to that row height, and you'll see that right here. So either of those are acceptable for you to utilize, either the one in the cells format or the right click shortcut. Okay, now I can read the rest of my directions. It says delete row 2. So I can come in here and I'm going to highlight row 2, and right up here where it says delete, you can see it says delete cells or delete sheet row or delete sheet. I'm going to just delete the sheet row. Now row 2 is deleted. Insert a column between column D and column E. So in order to insert between D and E, I actually need to highlight here where it highlight column E, because whenever we insert in Excel, it will always go to the left of the column or above the row. So to the left of the column or above the row. So now if I go in and insert a column here, you'll see that that'll put it between what was D and E. Okay, let me go ahead and scroll over a little. Now it says set the width of column E, I'm sorry, missed one, auto fit the width of column A. So let's go back over to column A. To auto fit a width, there's a couple of things you can do. You can click on and show the entire column, and underneath format here, you can see you can auto fit height and you can auto fit width. Okay. The other thing you can do is, and I'm going to just auto fit column B here to show you how to do that, is you can also notice when we have the black arrow here, if I come between two columns, you'll see that my mouse changes to a line with an arrow on either side. If I double click that, that will actually auto fit to hold the text for a given column there. So you can see here I can do that with column C as well. And you can come in and do that. Now if you want to auto fit the entire spreadsheet, you can highlight right here between A and 1. You'll see there's this little triangle there. If I click on that, that highlights my entire spreadsheet, and I could go in and double click between any of those rows, and it would auto fit all of the columns that I have. Okay, it doesn't know what to do here with this E column because it doesn't have any data, so it kind of skipped that one. Okay, set the width of column E to 12. So I can do that, highlight E, and I could right click and come to column width, or I can come over to format my column width and make that 12. Okay, so now that column width is there. Okay, now it says delete the blank column that I inserted earlier, so that's going to be this one here. Highlight E, and then delete sheet column. And now it says insert a new blank worksheet. Okay, so now thinking about where we are right now, now you'll notice that my sheet tabs down here are colored. When I was on the styles group, that blue was kind of a light blue behind it. In the cells group, it's an orange, but when I clicked on it, it's a light orange. So currently I'm on the cells group tab. If I insert a new blank worksheet, that worksheet will show up one just to the left of where I am. So I'm going to insert a sheet, and you'll see now I have this, it says sheet 2. Okay, now go back over here, it says name that worksheet blank and color the worksheet tab dark red. Okay, so name that worksheet blank. And there's several ways to name a worksheet. I'm going to just double click on it, and that just highlights it all, and you can do that. The other thing you can do is you can right click on it and go to where it says rename. That would also allow you to rename it. So a couple of different ways you can do that. This one says it wants its sheet tab color to be red, dark red. So I can right click where it says blank and go to tab color and make that dark red. I could also, here where it says format, tab color, I could also make it dark red here. I could also rename it here. So most things you can do with a right click you can also do in the cells group. Okay, and then it says create a copy of the blank worksheet, placing it between the basic math and Fabulous 5 function sheet. So it wants me to put it over here. Let me show you the reason for that. So what we do is, you'll notice I'm going to right click on the blank tab here. I'm going to right click and go to move or copy. Now you'll notice that when I go into the move or copy dialog box, it says what workbook do you want to put it in? Well, workbooks are how Excel thinks about sheets. So you have these sheets kind of like in a book. So you've got multiple sheets. Well, you can have multiple workbooks, and every Excel file is considered a workbook. And you'll notice here, if I click on that, I could put it in the original file that I have, the one that I'm working on. I could even put it in a new book. Now it says before which sheet do you want it? So do I want it before Excel layout? Which one of these do I want it before? And it said it wanted me to put it between Basic Math and Fabulous 5. So I need it before the Fabulous 5 worksheet. You see here I got it before the Fabulous 5 worksheet. Now here's the important piece. Right now I'm only in the move function. In order to actually copy the spreadsheet, I need to come here where it says create a copy, and using that create a copy, then I can actually put it in there, and you'll notice blank is now showing here as blank too. Okay, so that would be how you would copy a particular sheet. And a lot of times that's what you want to do. I have a budget that I do for our home, and every month I copy the budget to the next month, and I just tell it, when I'm copying it, I tell it to just move it to the end. If you'll notice right down at the end, I say move it to the end and create a copy. Okay, I'm not going to do that here, but that way you can always just kind of create new items. Okay, let's go back into that cells group, and I think that's it for that particular one. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the video for this one, and I'll do some more of these in the next video.